Fairy tales have a long history throughout humanity of being ways of telling people important stories without telling them that they did something wrong or undue. It's a way of educating people through stories, which we love. As human beings, we love stories. However, some fairy tales get dark and gritty and messed up, and you're like, are these really for kids? And I still say yes. In fact, I would say you should read your kids the darkest fairy tales you can find, about witches in the forest and about people living in shacks also in the forest. A lot of fairy tales take place in the forest. A lot of them took place in the Black Forest specifically because they were written by German people. Anyway, fairy tales are important because they teach us lessons. And I think one of the most important lessons we can learn from fairy tales is to never trust anyone. That's not your grandma, that's a wolf. You don't try to walk through the woods. Also, wolves are a big problem in fairy tales. Not as much as you would think, given our current situation. Like, if you live in a city, wolves are maybe coyotes, maybe foxes, but wolves? Old fairy tales are important because they teach us lessons about how to live and how to treat other people. So, like, don't chase people made of gingerbread. You're never going to catch them, okay? There are important stories to learn from, important lessons to learn from that. Really, what that means is don't chase after the cake. Let the cake come to you. It's very important. It's one thing I learned from Hansel and Gretel, is that don't go to the candy house, let the candy house come to you. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I'm really glad I said it. Another thing about fairy tales that you have to learn is that the language in them is often a little confusing because it's meant to, they're allegories. They're meant to tell you a version of a story or a version of events that will relate to you on a timeless basis. And that's another important part of fairy tales. They have to be timeless. You can't tell a fairy tale like, so one time I was looking at the Snapchat filter and then a witch appeared. Like, you can't do that. Although that would be pretty cool. If you had made Snapchat filters of just like terrifying things behind you, work on it. Anywho, old fairy tales, especially ones told in German and Hungarian, are very important because they also teach you about how to care about people, how to live your life based on serving others. Their sons baked in pies. I'm not even kidding. Those are real stories. Titus Andronicus ripped it off. Just saying. So read fairy tales, learn from them, and learn from your own mistakes too. And eat more cake. Let it come to you though. Hi. If you like these videos, cool, weird, and you have some sort of prompt you would like me to respond to, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you hate me, feel free to leave those too. I mean, like, if my face just makes you want to, by all means.